But I think too many people focus on what if there's no more buyers? You hear this with Hex all the time, and I love Richard Hart's rebuttal to it. Everybody always wants to think of the worst case scenario. What if it goes to zero? What if there's no more buyers? What if? Well, take the other end of that spectrum. What if it 10,000 X's like Hex has done? What is going on, guys? Broke Boi Crypto here with you again, and today we are going to try to answer the question, will 1 billion of Jack Levin's XEN crypto token make me rich? There's a lot of factors that are going to go into this, and we are going to explore them all in grave detail today. Hey guys, if you like videos about new DeFi products like Jack Levin's XEN crypto token, please do like the video, subscribe to the channel as well, hit the notification bell, and you can follow me on Twitter. I am at Boi Crypto. So XEN has been all the rage, really, for the last couple of months. Ever since it launched on October the 8th, I remember the Saturday very, very well. There was a lot of drama. There was a lot of people trying to get in right away, including your boy right here, Boi Crypto. Now, what I have kind of realized, in my opinion anyway, and of course, none of this is financial advice. It's just what I am interested in doing in the world of crypto and DeFi. I minted a few wallets on day one, and I feel, I don't want to say stupid in doing that in retrospect, but to pay the elevated gas price that anybody had to pay for the majority of the launch day for XEN, compared to what you've been able to do in the recent weeks and months, seems rather foolish. Boi in recent days has almost been to single digits during my waking hours, and prices on the Ethereum network are pretty cheap. But I can't blame myself too much, and I'm sure you feel the same if you did mint on day one. I think the highest gas fee that I did end up paying was about $15 or so. But even worse than that were the failed transactions on day one. XEN definitely flooded the network, and I think Boi got up to almost 200 on the ETH network on the launch of XEN. Now, in the coming weeks and months after that XEN launch on October the 8th, a lot of people that are not a fan of the product are really blaming the inflationary, super inflationary aspect of it so far. And make no mistake, XEN is extremely inflationary right now. As of this video, I think we're in the quadrillions of tokens that are in supply, if that is a number, on the Ethereum network, and over 6 million individual wallets. Now, that's great, obviously, for adoption, which really is the key to all of this. It is super inflationary right now, but the bottom line is a lot of people want XEN and are engaging with it, not only in the Ethereum network. I mean, Jack has this on Polygon Matic, Doge somehow, Phantom, and a whole bunch of other ones. I'm not going to get into those today. I am just focusing on the Ethereum network, which is my preferred network of minting XEN. Now, a lot of the people that haven't been fans of XEN and have been crapping on it. Now, at first, we covered this in another video. Some of them were just hexicans that were upset at a product that seemed slightly similar to Hex and felt that personally Jack Levin kind of siphoned the Hex community by streaming with Richard Hart and getting to know some of them. And, you know, you can think that. That's really not here nor there for me. But the main sticking point has really been, again, the super inflationary nature of XEN so far. What I think a lot of these people don't understand, and I don't want to be one of those, did you read the white paper, bro? But did you read the white paper, bro? I made a video on this a few weeks or months back, actually, that I'll show you right now, and will be in the description. You can click the link and check that out as well. But we went deep into the white paper of XEN, and upon doing so, really discovered the 8-year time horizon that XEN is meant to have. This thing will become very disinflationary over time. And the thing is, XEN was just built as a final product, a smart contract for other people to build on top of. As I speak right now, we are in the midst of the launch of these XEN FTs, which are coming out soon. And just think, we've got nearly a decade of time for people to build things on and using XEN. Another part of this inflationary aspect is, although Boi was very, very high, and for a few weeks there after XEN launch, there was very high gas fees on the Ethereum network, we're basically back to the bottom of the bear market as far as Boi has been right now. We're going to get to this in more detail later, but I've been minting XEN like a madman recently and spending less than $3 American to do so. Again, it takes me back to the actual launch day of XEN and kind of regretting that I even got in on day one, but what can you do? Now, there's been a lot of approaches to using XEN so far. A lot of folks out there have been doing short-term mints where they're paying that measly gas fee and then actually claiming their tokens a couple of weeks, 30 days, whatever it may be later, and in pretty mad profit. See, the gas fee to actually mint this stuff, as I said, is very, very low right now. It is nonsensical, in my opinion. Just do the math. It's pretty easy to be buying it on the open market. Even at its all-time lows so far, it is still more beneficial to mint XEN. So a lot of folks have had that short-term thinking, and I certainly don't blame them. To each his own. I have different goals financially and in this crypto space than others may have. But popular YouTubers like Trevon, who I watch a lot of for his XEN content, have not made it a secret that he's done a lot of short-term mints and profited in the meantime and then put that back into whatever you want, ETH, USDC, whatever it may be. And it's a great opportunity. While this has been good for people, and again, they've definitely profited off of XEN in the short term, I don't believe that's necessarily why it was created. I think it's more of a long-term product that, again, as we see this disinflationary nature of the product over time, we're going to see bigger gains by holding the token and staking it long term. A lot of this talk from people that are outside of the XEN network and just wanting to crap talk it, I don't think have realized when they say that it's gone to zero or something like that, it's literally not true, because all these people are profiting big time in the short term by minting, claiming, and cashing out. Again, the short-term cash outs, though, are not my prerogative. I'm a more long-term investor. And I'll tell you straight up right now, XEN is not any kind of a significant portion of my portfolio. These tokens are free with a measly gas fee. And I got the idea recently from watching some other awesome channels like Trevon, 333 Crypto, who, man, is he doing a good job right now. So shout out to him on his XEN coverage. But I just wanted to have more XEN tokens for this ride long term. This is all relative. The small gas fees are small to me. Maybe they aren't as small to you. Maybe it's so minuscule for other people that they don't even want to mess with XEN because they're already rich. Overall, to me though, when I sat back and thought about it and thought of the potential, keyword there is potential. I and nobody else are guaranteeing any gains. Even Jack Levin himself has said this. We don't know what the world will think of XEN and if they will love it, but so far it is looking that way. So I thought spending $200 or so, minting a bunch of wallets for how much XEN I'll have by the end of it, for an 8-year time horizon, which I'm willing to go along for the ride for, that's pennies to me. Of course I'll try that. So 1 billion XEN, as I talked about in the title of the video, it's a number that I thought was pretty interesting. Again, I'm only departing with probably, I don't even know, $150 or so with all the gas fees for the wallets that I did. And I basically just play Gwei as I would a token that I was interested in getting into and buying dips, looking at certain levels that I'm interested in spending. I haven't minted one wallet other than on that launch day that's been an over $3 charge for a gas fee. This is a long-term view once again, so I'm okay playing the gas market and just minting when it's most beneficial for me. So when coming to this conclusion of wanting to mint 1 billion tokens, I just thought to myself, what are the potential scenarios here based on the money that I'm spending to mint it? Let's say it does actually completely crash and go to zero and there's a rug pull eventually. Okay, so I lost $150 or so on some measly gas fees. Tell you what, if that hasn't happened to you in the past in crypto, trust me, it's going to. You just haven't been in crypto long enough. But I think too many people focus on, what if there's no more buyers? You hear this with Hex all the time, and I love Richard Hart's rebuttal to it. Everybody always wants to think of the worst case scenario. What if it goes to zero? What if there's no more buyers? What if? Well, take the other end of that spectrum. What if it 10,000 X's like Hex has done? Now, that may be funny to you, and maybe I'm totally wrong in that thinking. I don't even necessarily think it will happen, but we need to take all scenarios into account. So let's say XEN, I don't want to say only, but let's say it 100x's. Well, 100xing from its price lows is not the same as 100xing from the money that I spent on gas. By doing a conversion at this very moment with what the lows have been for XEN in this market since launch, I'd actually be doing more like a 400x based on the money I spent for gas compared to just a 100x in XEN actual price. That's a big deal. That's something to think about for me because, again, if you're not buying it on the open market and you're just minting, which is far more beneficial at this very moment, you're doing a lot more than just 100x if Zen 100x's. And then you do kind of let your mind run a little bit more wild. What if it 1000x's? What if it has the holy grail of 10,000 xing? Where would we be? Well, I've already done the calculation, and I, basically would be able to do whatever I want for the rest of my life. I don't think that scenario is the one that is going to happen. But again, for the amount of money that I spent on gas fees, I'm willing to sign up for that. And all of these numbers, based on the minuscule amount I spent for gas, would be more like 4 to 40,000 X's for me based on the money I really put in. We're going to go over to the desk in a moment and show you some of the tools that I'm using when I am minting this Zen to really dial it in and make sure, you got to remember when you spend this gas, there's also gas on the back end when you claim it. And then if you plan on staking it for the 1,000-day limit after that, that's another fee. So those are also things to take into account. I personally, right now, have only been interested in getting my mints in when Gwei is between 10 and 13, again, equating to a sub $3 mint fee. I really want to be forward thinking here because a lot of people are out there minting like mad, and that's totally understandable. I think this is really the time to do it. The thing just launched a couple of months ago, and we're in the middle of a bear market with suppressed Gwei numbers. Remember, however, on the back end, we're at the point now where you can push out your claim from the mint period to over 440 days. Well, that's getting into the territory of Q1 of 2024, which I don't know that the market will be hot necessarily and, do all-time highs for Bitcoin by then. I actually doubt that it will, but I think it's going to be in a substantially better place than it is at this very moment. Do you want to be claiming all of those wallets when we could see Gwei on average back up into the 30s, 40s, 50s, 80s, who knows? I would rather get a lot of these transactions in right now when it's really, really cheap and set it for near the max mint term or within at least a few months of it to where I'm claiming them. I still think the market will be, if anything, slightly on its way back up. In my opinion, not financial advice, of course, I do think Bitcoin and the rest of the crypto market is perking up to a relatively significant amount by Q2 of 2024. So I personally would like to get all of my claims in prior to that time. At the time of this recording, and chances are possibly when you're watching it, we are at somewhat close to the bottom of this bear market. If it hasn't bottomed already, we won't know, obviously, for weeks and months, but it's hard to imagine it getting way, way worse than this. The opportunity upwards far outweighs the risk downwards at this point, in my opinion. The other thing I'm factoring into this decision with when I want to actually claim these tokens is I wouldn't mind having a nice APY when I do go to stake my Zen. So I've made sure that all of my mints are taking place and ending, and I'll be able to claim when I'm still getting anywhere from 15 to 17% APY. The max, of course, is 20. That window is already closing. And Zen was more so designed that the further you push out the claim your mint period, the more Zen you're going to have. So I would rather nearly max that out than worry about getting the absolute best APY. So I know if you're a fan of Zen, you have probably seen a lot of channels and videos out there with a lot of complex tools and people doing crazy amounts of wallets. Mine's really not even that crazy in comparison. I mean, if you just do the math, attaining 1 billion Zen, yeah, it's a little weird, and somebody that's a normie in the old school financial world would be like, what the hell are you doing? But some of these people are maniacally, I mean, there are people out there on some channels I've seen that have billions of Zen already. I think I saw somebody that has 1 trillion across other chains and everything. I'm not interested in going that far. Again, this is all your prerogative and how much money you want to spend in gas fees. My system is pretty simple, what I've done, and I'll show you the only couple of tools that I'm using here. I'm obviously using Zen.network. I'm using a simple Zen Mint Calculator, which I find to be really, really handy. You can mess with the inputs a little bit and have a, worst case scenario, best case scenario, realistic case scenario based on the mint term that you're choosing. Obviously, then I'm using my Metamask to hook up to Zen.network to make the transaction. Etherscan is always great to check the Gwei. And then I'll just simply Google what's, 402 days from now. I'm also being strategic. We keep thinking about the back end here. I'm being strategic with the exact day that I'll be claiming these tokens. So you can decide what that is for you. Some people think that Gwei is traditionally lower on weekends. Depending upon where you live in the world, it may be mattering a little bit different for you, but also be keeping in mind the days that you're going to be claiming these. Reading the XEN white paper, if you're heavily involved in this product, you should know you need to claim them right away. It needs to be the day, worst case scenario, day after they come due. I love this product. I also love Hex. One of the flexible points of Hex is you have a 2-week period without losing anything to claim the Hex that you've minted. That is not so with XEN, so you need to make sure that you're going to be available that day. So with all of that said, let's head over to the desk. I'll kind of show you what my system has been, some of the tools that I'm using, and try again to answer the question, will 1 billion XEN make me rich? Okay, guys, so we are over here, of course, at XEN.network. This is the main page, obviously. If you are familiar with XEN, you're pretty used to this. Now, I know that XEN is on a lot of these different chains, and that is very cool, especially one of my absolute favorites, which is Phantom. But I am not concerning myself with any of these other than Ethereum. That's really the only place I have minted XEN. Obviously, everybody is an individual. If you want to mint it elsewhere as well, you're certainly welcome to. But I'm really just interested in the Ethereum. So as we are here right now, we're into the, wow, this has jumped up quite a bit even since I did the intro. But yeah, we're at about 6.5 million now as far as unique wallets on the C rank here. And you can reference some of the old videos I've done before, kind of introducing everybody to XEN and going over the white paper, but you'll get an idea of what all these numbers mean. But right now, the max term for minting is 439 days. So all I'm simply doing, and again, I know a lot of people out there are going crazy with the XEN strategy and doing these huge batch wallets and everything. I know me minting 1 billion XEN is not necessarily setting the world on fire or something totally unique, but I'm interested, and I think it is a good number to get started to potentially have some serious gains here long term. But right now, I'm obviously sitting on one of my day ones. This is my 40,000 one when I got the max AMP of 3,000 and the max EAA of 10%. And this was the longest that I could mint at the time. I am a fan, as I said in the intro. Call it simple jack or whatever you want to, but I am more interested in just minting for the long term and then staking the max term of 1,000 days when I get there. Obviously, those are a bit far off at this point for me. But yeah, this is going to be the soonest one I have coming up. So this is like early September, I believe, of 2023. And this one's right at about 25 million XEN. So this is why I was saying in the intro, I really kind of blame myself for FOMOing in on day one. It's not like a lot of money was lost. I mean, I think the most gas I paid in dollars was $15, which is deplorable compared to what I can get right now. I've been paying about $275 or so. But, you know, it's like, why do this when I can do what I'm doing now? So that just kind of shows you that there is still time to get into XEN, and we are still very early, although the NFTs and things like that are coming soon. And as funny as this is, literally what I'm doing over here, and there's probably even another way to do it, I'm sure, but I'm really just going in and typing in a certain amount of days from now. Again, right now we have the max term is 439 days here. So what I'm doing is checking out, because I want to know in the future, like what day will I be minting my coins? Obviously, traditionally, the weekends are going to be a little bit lower for gas fees. So I am a fan of that. Maybe it's a little bit different where you live or the hours of the day, or maybe you want to go about it a little bit differently. But I really love this tool right here. Again, I like the KISS way of thinking. Keep it simple, stupid. I like the XEN Mint Calculator. This is just at XENMON.com. Just an estimation calculator. And of course, what you see here, none of it is guaranteed or anything like that. These are purely estimations, and they are dependent upon what you plug in to the system. So if we were minting for that max of 439 days at the moment of this stream, this recording, we would put that in. Now, this is the interesting field, new users after you. So it says here you can use average new users per day from the table below to calculate new users after you. To make this more convenient, the numbers in the average new users a day and max term columns are clickable. So what I've been doing, so you can see on average, and this actually just ticked up the last couple of days. So on the ETH chain, which again is the only one I'm really interested in, is 82,000, almost 83,000 new users a day. Now, I and maybe I'm wrong in this. And again, this is just my little thought experiment. I know there's people doing more serious stuff with Zen, and I would love to hear your comments below if you want to combat me with this, but I want to know. I feel like that number has to go down. That maybe I'm wrong. I mean, maybe like as the adoption, as more and more people hear about it, this does get bigger. I keep looking at it, and it might be flawed thinking, as so many people wanted to get into this on day one, and it was crazy way back on October the 8th of 2022 that, this number might be inflated at the moment. Okay. I could be wrong there. I mean, it may even be more. So what I have been doing is whatever term I am choosing. Now, I don't have any for this 439 days, but just using it as an example, what I've been doing to be safe, and I'm really lowballing what my minted Zen estimate will probably be by doing this, which is fine with me. You can see this site does pull in the AMP and the EAA, which is really sweet. I really, really do love this site. But what I've been doing is, instead of, if I were to just do the math, and I'm doing this off camera on my phone right now, so let's just say 83,000 users times 439 days. That would hypothetically mean almost 36.5 million wallets after me. Okay, so if we were to actually take that number, that would be looking at about 33 million Zen. Now you'll see this number, the new users at this point, does not make a gigantic difference. I mean, by a couple of million, but that's, not a huge difference at this juncture in Zen. But what I've been doing is basically just take this number and then thirding it. So I've really just been taking that, we'll say 83,000 divided by 3 and saying about 28,000 users per day. So I'll do that by 439, which equates to about 12 million new users. So you can see, though, I mean, even with that, and we calculated, yeah, I was pretty much exactly right. It's about 2 million less. So this number isn't going to be wildly different. But when I'm really trying to pin down the exact number of a billion, I like playing around with these numbers and seeing where we are. So either way, you can see with these numbers, like just how early we are and how important this is. But I love this tool. What I'm doing is basically, you can see in my MetaMask here. So I know a lot of people are doing this kind of formatting with this, and I really like it. But just as a reminder to yourself, this is a wallet I made like exclusively for Zen, which I think is probably the best way to go about it. But yeah, I basically just will name them each wallet the day that these are coming due to when I got to go claim these mints. So, you can see I have at the earliest, these are the ones that I would have done back when Zen officially launched. It's like the weekend of September the 1st and 2nd. And then I basically just spread everything around just to kind of differentiate all through the rest of later in 2023. Obviously, you couldn't really get much earlier than that at this point. I did not have any 100-day mints. Again, I want to push these as close to the max as possible. So I think the furthest out I am, I think March 2nd of 2024 is about as far out as I am at this moment. But yeah, like right now, if I were to do another one, so we're at 439 days max term. Let's just say, for example, I'm a weekend kind of guy and I want to make sure that we'll say claim them on a Saturday or something like that. So if we were to go out, let's say, we'll say February like 24th, I wouldn't mind, minting at that point. So there you go, 426 days from now, Saturday, February 24th. So I think to myself, am I going to be around that day? Am I going to be able to claim this stuff? Yes. So I will just go over and mint to claim that day. And I just love this tool because I can just put in, it was 426 days. We'll just keep let's go bullish. Let's go with the amount of users it said. What was that? 36.5 million or something. Yeah, so we'll just do that, and there I go. So you can see these numbers aren't going to be wildly different at this point, but yeah, 32 million Zen. So that's really it. I like to keep this stuff simple, and I'm just going through and minting each one. But the most important thing for me, I am treating this, even though I'm not buying market Zen, which again, I wouldn't, that's just me. I'm not going to do that. But over here, I'm not going to do that, but at the same time, I am shopping for good gas fees. Again, I've only really been executing these orders when Boi is between like 10 to 14 or something like that. I'm making sure I pay below $3. And then from what I've heard, I haven't claimed any of these wallets yet, but I have heard that the claim is actually cheaper than the mint. So that's even something else to look forward to. Now, what I'm then doing after that is just putting a rough estimate of the estimate, I guess you would say, of each one of my Zen wallets here. I think I have 38 at the moment. Yeah. So 38, and just estimating how many in millions I have in each one. So just coming down, selecting all. And now I didn't actually put the full number there, but it's equating to about 1.5 billion tokens by the time I get to claim them. So again, we'll see. I mean, we don't know where the price on this thing is going to go. I really like a lot of what Jack Levin is doing and saying. Now, remember, out of the different scenarios here, I mean, you got to think of what the money means to you that you pay for gas fee. I mean, like if Zen would totally rug or literally go to zero or something like that, if I personally am only out $150 in gas fees, you know, for what this risk was, that really doesn't mean very much to me. You know, if it's somehow 100x's, if it's 1,000x's, if it's somehow 10,000x, I'm just throwing numbers out there. That obviously would be fantastic. It is well worth the time and slight amount of money invested. You know, nobody knows where it is going to go. So to me, it's definitely at least worth it to get 1 billion Zen in this manner. And it's easy to mint this stuff. So to me, like early on, while we are here right now, why not do it? I don't count anything I have in Zen as an actual part of my portfolio. I think people should not, if all they've done is mint it, because obviously, remember, you don't actually have the tokens yet until you claim them. So this is just something I'm kind of doing on the side. I'm going to keeping up with Zen. I'm not going to be, maniacally following it every single day, but I'm a huge fan of Jack Levin. I'm a fan of what he's doing, building the Zen NFTs on top of it. I think there's going to be a lot more than that to come. And I really love the community around it. I've talked about this in other videos, and I think people sometimes don't get it, but communities in crypto is such a big thing. It's different than other financial sectors. It really means a lot. You can see it with the Hex community. DeFi, there's a lot of communities that really do go crazy because they understand that is what true crypto really is. And Zen is true crypto. So I love a lot of these creators. And I'm excited to continue to follow this little Zen journey. So I'm glad I'm in my tokens. And I think this little start of getting 1 billion and just kind of seeing where it goes makes me feel at least it's a substantial enough amount to really feel like I'm involved with the product. So there you go, guys. I hope this video was helpful. I hope you found it interesting. Let me know your Zen plan. I would love to hear your comments below. I really am starting to love this Zen community again. I can't shout out enough. 333 Crypto is one of the best channels that I have found. And I've even gone back and watched some of his old videos. Just a really good dude. I think he said he's a physician in real life. Very good speaker. Love to maybe stream with him someday. So that's something I can reach out to him and possibly look into. But Trevon, obviously, as well, always good for some laughs too. But what do you think of my strategy? I, again, just put in the amount of money that I am comfortable doing as far as gas fees and speculating on where this product could go. Let me know what your plans are below. I would love to hear all kinds of different strategies. What do you think it could be right or wrong about mine? Would love to hear you guys' thoughts. So if you liked this video, please do like it. Subscribe to the channel as well. I very much appreciate it. We do cover Zen on a pretty consistent basis. Hit the notification bell, and you can find me on Twitter. I am at Boi Crypto. I want to once again thank all of you fellow Bro Boys for watching another one of these videos, and I will catch you in the next one.